decided to do a MizzyWorld sports topic, the most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years. Now let me tell y'all what I mean, or what my definition is of superstar and disappointing superstar. Superstar is someone that had expectations coming in, someone that was sought out to be the special player when they were drafted, or whatever the case may be, when they first had their first professional fight. And disappointing superstar is someone that did achieve some things but didn't achieve all that they could with the talent that they had. You feel what I'm saying? My four players are Kershaw, Melo, and LT. Yes, LT over Tony Romo and AB. So let's get into who's going to be the most disappointing superstar. Gang. So let's start off with Clayton Kershaw. Now, the reason I picked Clayton Kershaw over Bryce Harper was for two different reasons. For one, because Bryce Harper is younger, so I'm going to pick the older player that's had more playoff experience and has a bigger resume to look at. And for two, I feel as though Clayton Kershaw's teams have been way better, have been having way more expectations, and I feel as though Clayton has just been way more dominant in the regular season than Bryce Harper, and he's been the total opposite in the postseason. You feel what I'm saying? We haven't really seen Bryce Harper in the postseason like that, and like I said, Bryce Harper's still young. He's still under 30. I think Clayton is like 31, maybe 32. So let's get into why Clayton is on this list. He has a 2.39 ERA in the regular season. That's fantastic if you know baseball. He's probably been the best pitcher in the modern era that we've seen personally. But in the playoffs, he has a 4.32 ERA. And it's only a 4.32 because he's pitched actually pretty well in these past couple of postseasons. You feel what I'm saying? Especially last year, he pitched pretty good. So when you take that into account, he's not going to be as high to me as everybody else, but he definitely has to be on this list simply because the indifference between a 2.39 ERA and a 4.32 ERA, and not even a 4.32 ERA, but a 5.4 ERA in World Series games. You feel what I'm saying? So Clayton Kershaw has to be on the list, but he's lower on my list simply because he has played better in the past couple of postseasons, and he's been to 2 World Series. You feel what I'm saying? So you can't take that away from him. So let me tell y'all why LaDainian Tomlinson is on this list instead of Tony Romo. It's a few different reasons. The first reason I'm going to say is expectations. Coming out of TCU, LaDainian Tomlinson was supposed to be this super change the game running back. You feel what I'm saying? He was looked at as the Adrian Peterson. He was looked at as the Todd Gurley, the Ezekiel Elliott. He was that when he was coming out of TCU. I don't even know where the fuck Tony Romo went to college at, for real, for real. He was an undrafted free agent that fucking Bill Parcells found loading trucks or some shit. I don't fucking know. So for me, for Tony Romo to create himself from that into a superstar, the star quarterback of the Cowboys, that's a win in itself. You dig what I'm saying? And not only that, he played pretty well in his playoff games. He has a 8-2 playoff interception to touchdown to interception ratio. 8-2. That's great. You feel what I'm saying? And you look at LaDainian Tomlinson, in 10 playoff games, he has 462 rushing yards. That's a 46 yards average. In 8 games, in his last 8 playoff games, he has 252 rushing yards. Like, bruh, that's unacceptable, especially when you look at the numbers he put up in the regular season. It wasn't like he was an average or he was an okay regular season running back. No, he was a special fucking regular season running back. And for you to go from that to absolutely a no-show in the playoffs, how could you not be on this list? You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on that. That's why LT is on this list and not Tony Romo. Let's see if LT is going to end up being the most disappointing superstar of the past 15 years. So now it's time to move on to AB, Adrian Broner. Now, some people may look at me and say, well, Adrian Broner really isn't a superstar. Let me tell you why he is. For one, his status. He has a lot of money. He's popular as shit. For most people that don't even watch boxing, they know who Adrian Broner, AB, is. For two, he was a 4-time belt holder in 4 different weight divisions. You feel what I'm saying? So he did put it out there on the canvas. He did do his thing. And 3, before his biggest loss, the one to Marcus Maidana, he was considered to be the heir apparent to the throne that Floyd was going to leave vacant. He was supposed to be the offensive version of Floyd Mayweather. You feel what I'm saying? And for him to go from that to, you know what I'm saying, from the time he lost to Marcus Maidana to right now, his career has went downhill. You feel what I'm saying? People are making careers off of him. Mikey Garcia and Marcus Maidana were supposed to be fights for him to propel himself, not for them to propel themselves. You feel what I'm saying? I just feel as though he's taken so many steps down, so many notches back, and he's just had so much natural ability that is really, like I said, it's disappointing that he's not more dominant in this sport. He has natural power, he has natural speed, he got natural agility and movement ability, but somewhere he lacks, I guess, that heart or that work ethic or that will to want to be great. Because at the end of the day, that loss to Marcus Maidana and that loss to Mikey Garcia, those was disappointing losses. You feel what I'm saying? Those was disappointing losses, like Michigan losing to Ohio State this past Saturday. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's not just losses like, all right, you lost. It was like, no, nigga, you went there and you got your ass whooped. You feel what I'm saying? So, is he going to be the most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years? Wait till the end of the video. And last but not least, the final superstar on this list in this whole debate of who's the most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years, Carmelo fucking Anthony. And he has to be at the top of this list. He has to be, I guess, the poster boy for this list, strictly because of his shortcomings in the postseason, strictly because of his natural talents, and simply because of who he was compared to coming out of college. Now, you look at Melo, he's what, a 15-year pro, 14, 15-year pro. I mean, he's been in the league as long as LeBron James. He's been out of the first round, what, 2-3 times? He's been to a Western Conference Finals once. He's never been to an Eastern Conference Finals. When you think about him coming out of college and the first few years, the debate was who's better between Melo and LeBron. And Melo was holding his own because Brian wasn't so dominant. Brian wasn't doing what he was, like, Brian was doing what he was doing. Brian was dominant, but Melo was too. And Melo was in a Western Conference, in a tougher conference, and he was holding his own. So a lot of people was leaning towards Melo. But now you think about how far-fetched that debate was now, it's really sad. You feel what I'm saying? For you to only be to one conference finals, bro. And that was when you was in Denver. That was like 10 years ago. And the saddest part was when he was in New York and he was talking about, well, I view myself as a champion already. And he should, honestly. But New York Knicks fans wasn't trying to hear that, oh, I'm a champion because I got a fucking Olympic gold medal, or I'm a champion because I got a national title. No, that national title, yeah, I give you the props on that. But that Olympic gold, come on, bruh. You, Wade, Kobe, Steph, Westbrook, come on, bro. Y'all better have beat on Marc Gasol and a bunch of niggas that fucking make pita bread sandwiches out there. Like, come on, dog. Don't give me that, oh, I'm a champion because I gotta. No, the U.S. is supposed to win gold every fucking year in the Olympics. So that miss me with that bullshit. But, and not only that, y'all was disappointing as shit when I think it was AI and Tim Duncan that led them out there and they only came out with the bronze. So, yeah, you got 2 gold medals, but you also got a bronze. You also got a bronze, you know what I mean? So, besides that, it's just, and it's not only that, it's just the simple fact of how far-fetched on who he is as a player is. You feel what I'm saying? How he's so unwilling to sacrifice his status as a player. He's unwilling to come off the bench. He's unwilling to play a little bit more defense. He's unwilling to cut his shots down. He's unwilling to play winning basketball. He wants to look good. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Melo to me is the quintessential person that Woody Harrelson was talking about in White Men Can't Jump when he said, white men want to look good and, look bad. They'd rather look bad and win, and black men rather look good and lose. That's what Melo is to me. You feel what I'm saying? He'd rather look good and lose. He'd rather go out there and drop 50 and the fucking team lose, rather than go out there and maybe drop 20, grab 10 boards, you feel what I'm saying, and win the game. So, that's what it is to me. Who's going to be the most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years? It's coming up real soon. Now, before I give y'all my official #1 disappointing superstar in the past 15 years, I'm going to give y'all a little rundown on the players that almost made the list, but I felt as though they did just enough not to make the list, or they have time to either rectify their career or get on this list. You feel what I'm saying? So number one is Matt Stafford. I feel as though now my reason for not putting Matt Stafford on this list, even though I feel as though as a superstar he has been disappointing up until this point, is because him overcoming those shoulder injuries in the beginning of his career were like something that you got to tip his hat to, because a lot of people, quarterbacks, players, in a lot of different leagues would have gave up right then and there because that shit was coming like every season for him. He was getting that shoulder hurt. But if he doesn't get a few playoff wins under his belt, he's definitely going to be taking LaDainian Tomlinson's spot. You dig what I'm saying? Who else? Phillip Rivers. I feel as though Phillip Rivers has been disappointing as a superstar thus far because the Chargers have had so many expectations every year. Ever since that 4-2, that 14-2 year with Marty Schottenheimer, they've been some analysts somewhere Super Bowl pick for the following seasons. You feel what I'm saying? And they haven't reached the Super Bowl since. So you got to give him to that. But the reason he's not on the list is because I feel as though a lot of his shortcomings do come from coaching and a lack of like luck. In football, you need a lot of luck. So the next one is Alex Ovechkin. If Alex Ovechkin didn't last year slay his demons and beat the Penguins and win the Stanley Cup and then win the Stanley Cup Finals, he would have been on this list. But the fact that he did, he's off this list. He will never be on this list. In fact, right now he's going to be in the talks in a whole different list hockey-wise. And lastly, Andy Murray. Andy Murray would have been on this list, but I know y'all don't know fucking tennis. And I'm not about to talk to y'all about some shit that I know y'all not about to pay attention to. You dig what I'm saying? But he's definitely a disappointing superstar in the past 15 years. Now, time for the number one disappointing superstar in the past 15 years. Drum roll, please. Carmelo Anthony. Come to the stage, Melo. Where you at? No show again, huh? But you think about expectations, who he's compared to, and what he actually did in the NBA, he's a complete disappointment as a superstar. You can talk to me about, oh, he's one of the best offensive talents of all time. You know how Melo talk about, how motherfucking Stephen A talk about Melo and how it's never Melo fault, and Melo, he always got to redeem Melo name after a while. And Melo, you reached a lot in your career, but as far as what you could have reached and where you could have been, you are the most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years. You've been out of the first round of the playoffs three times. Like the simple fact that the Knicks had confetti fall when y'all won a fucking playoff series. It was the first round of a playoff series and they had confetti fall. That is disappointing. Did you not remember you were compared to LeBron James? Some people were saying you were better than LeBron James early in your career. Do you realize LeBron James has been to 8 straight finals in that same Eastern Conference that you've been playing in? While you've never been to a fucking finals at all. You've been to 1 conference finals in your career. That's pitiful. I'm sorry. Like, don't give me the numbers. Don't give me none of that. Carmelo Anthony's career thus far has been a big disappointment. And right now, don't nobody even want to pick you up because you're a cancer to any team that you join. You stop the ball. You're unwilling to be a team player. You're like the quintessential person that Woody Harrelson was talking about on White Men Can't Jump when he said, white men rather look bad and win, and black men rather look good and lose. That's who you are. You rather go out there and drop 50 and lose rather than go out there and have 20 and 10 and win. That's just me. And that's sad because your talents don't warrant that. You have the ability to be something special. You had the ability to be something special. Now you older and you got KD in the game. Now you got Giannis. Yeah, it's a wrap for you trying to redeem that in my eyes. But let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Melo can redeem his career? Do y'all think there was any other players that I should have threw on this list? Or who is y'all most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years? Let me know what y'all think. Y'all know what it is. MizzyWorld Sports Debate. Most disappointing superstar in the past 15 years. Gang.